Lenny here with Live the Adventure. Thanks for joining me, guys. Today we are covering a snare. It's called the Ojibwa Bird Snare. In many instances, while you're out in the wilderness, the abundance of food may be birds. And so knowing how to snare birds is a valuable piece of knowledge. So let's go and find a place where we can set up this trap. Things that you're going to need on this for this. You don't have to have it, but I have an awl that I got from a pocket box. It's actually where I learned how to do this snare. It's just a pointy metal instrument with sharp 90-degree angles so that when you drill it, it slowly will enter into the wood and create a hole. And that is important for this snare. All right, let's go and find a place to set the snare. So what I found here is a decent tree. It's dead. In a survival situation, I wouldn't worry about it being a dead tree. I would use a living tree, and I would set my snare on that because you need something that is stuck in the ground really strongly in order to do this snare. So this will work. Should work out well. So main thing is this is very thick, and so I'm gonna have to sort of slim it down a bit and make it so I can create my Ojibwa bird snare. The location is really good where this is at because it's got water. Birds need to drink too, and some birds may come by water, so that's my reason for choosing this area. You can also use bait if you wanted to, some kind of berry or something when you're doing the snare. So I'm gonna be using my axe because frankly, it's an easier device to use to slim this tree down than if I were to use a knife. But again, like I'm trying to think survival situation wise, you may only have a knife, and so you'd have to shave a little bit of this off. So you want this trap to be semi high enough that the bird's gonna see it and then it's gonna land on it. So let's go and slim it down right here. I'm going to be very careful about using this axe, so I'm not going to use a lot of force. If I used a lot of force, then I'd be worried about coming back down on my knee. That's something you do not want to have happen when you're in a survival situation. So I'm going to be using very little force, and instead I'm going to just be using the sharpness of the blade, and I'm going to be choked up high on it, so I have no worries about this coming down into my leg. And remember, we're not trying to cut this tree down. We're just trying to remove a little bit of material from it. So realistically, I just need to get this as thin as my awl is. So I'm gonna use a little bit of mud just to make that blend a little bit better because I don't think birds are gonna notice this that much. But just to make it a little bit less noticeable, we're gonna use some mud and dirt and sort of just work it into this so it'll camouflage it. Because like we said, we wanna make sure that things are camouflaged when we're doing traps and we're cutting things because animals will notice when something is freshly cut. So we're gonna take our awl, and the idea is you wanna go straight through to the other side. So it doesn't have to be exactly center on the wood. It just has to make sure that, you know, it's going to be a stable point. Oh, whoa. Okay, that was totally, that does not float in my boat. I was using the pocket box awl, and look at that. This is supposed to be high carbon steel, as they say, tempered and all the above. And this thing just, as I was drilling, snapped off within the wood. Like seriously? All right, so my pocket box awl just failed me. miserably, and I'm not happy about it. Like, seriously, I'm not happy. That's a big, big, big fail and a big, huge minus in my book, because the kind of stuff that a Pocket Box is trying to give to its subscribers is supposed to be stuff you can use out in the field and you can use in survival situations. It's not supposed to just like snap off while you're mid drilling your hole for your snare, your Ojibwa Bird Snare. That's just not cool. So, in order to finish this, because I want to show how to do the Ojibwa Bird Snare, I'm going to use my knife. It's going to create a bigger hole, but hey, that's what we got, so you're going to see how that's done this way. And if my freaking knife breaks off in here, I'll take back everything I said, but this thing's high carbon steel, O1 tool steel. It should not do what that all just did. All right, just about through. All right, so we've got a hole. Next part is to find a stick to plug that hole up and create a branch where the bird's gonna land. So probably the best branch to use for this is the same kind of wood that you're using as the main post for this trap. So let's get one of these branches that's up top here. We'll use one of these branches right up here as the actual area for the trap. This one right here probably will work just fine, so I'm just going to break that off. Ideally, you might want to have more branches hanging off of this, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this and show you guys how it works, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get a pointy end, which you can jam into this hole that is somewhat stable, but at the same time it can fall down if something puts weight on it. So perhaps something like this would work. I need to make it though so that it'll fall. If something were to land on it, that it'll come out from underneath. Seems like I need to maybe shorten that little point there, and that should fix it. So there's our trap. Bird comes and lands. Slightly bit more off of the end here. Let's see if that'll do it. So there's the trap. Bird lands, falls. Perfect. This will work really good. So that is the trigger of the trap right there, is that branch. So we've got the trigger. The next part we need is we need some kind of cordage. I'm going to use string. If you're out in the wilderness, you could use paracord, or you could use the innards of paracord. If you don't have that, you could use things for natural cordage, like dog's bane, any other kind of bark that is really stringy that you can wind up and create a stronger cord. So let's go and find ourselves a decent sized rock. The rock is what's going to hold the bird, and we need a rock that is about the weight of the bird we're trying to catch. So let's do that. So I've got a rock which I feel is about the weight of the bird I'm trying to catch, maybe a little bit more. So that's done. So next thing we want to do is we want to tie this rock to this string, my cordage. Since this is a snare, the lasso is what is going to snare the bird and grab its feet. So a simple lasso like this will do. Next we want to put this rock attached to the string. I'm going to tie a simple knot, nothing extravagant. The important thing is kind of that it's really fastened well to the rock, and I have like kind of this, I've got kind of it wrapped around the rock in 2 points so that if it does fall weird, it's not going to just slip out. And next I'm going to tie a double knot over this, and that'll hold it in place. Okay, so I've tied a simple double knot to this. So our rock is attached to our snare. Next we need to get the snare through the hole. Actually, I still have a use for this, this awl. I'm gonna use it right now. It's going to stick my string right through there. Ta-da! See, look, the awl still has a use. Even though half of it is stuck in that hole right there. All right, kid, so here's how it works. We've got our rock here, which is our weight. Okay. So here's our string, our weight, and then we've got the trigger. So the trigger actually holds the weight of the rock. See how that works? So we've got our snare. You could drill holes, put sticks through it, or you could get a branch that has sticks and it'll help support this better, because there is the possibility that this string will fall off if wind were to blow it. But that's our Ojibwa bird snare, okay? Pretty awesome. So how about we test it out? Let's see if we can catch a bird. All right, guys, I'm gonna sneak over here, just kind of hide in this bush over here, and I'm gonna watch if a bird comes into the snare. Oh, nice. Looks like a little birdie has landed on the trap. Yes, we got one. All right, guys, we're out here snaring, Ojibwa Bird Snare. I'm like, let's go and catch a bird. And yes, we got one. Check that out. We caught ourselves this beautiful red bird. Look at that. Well, not really, but hey, it was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is how you make the Ojibwa bird snare. I tried to give some kind of example of a real life situation where you could use it by using a fake bird. Just for entertainment, I used the fake bird and tried to make a little scenario, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, and you want to watch more of these, this is Snares and Traps Month, April. April Fools, guys, not really. But it's Traps and Snares this month. You can up here the subscribe button and you will receive a message when I put a new video up. This is Live the Adventure, and I'll see you guys. Have a good one.